Hello everyone, welcome to Edumon tutorial series. In today's lecture, we are going to go into our second chapter, which is decision making, branching, looping arrays and strings. What are control structures? Control structures are also called as control statements, which alter the flow of execution of a program. They provide better control of a program to the programmer. Control structures are of three types. They are conditional statements or decision-making statements, also called as selection statements, looping statements or iterative statements, and unconditional statements or jump statements. Let us look at the first statement, which is conditional statement or decision-making statements or selection statements. Now, what are these conditional statements? Conditional statements execute one or more statements based on a condition. They are of two types, the if statement and the switch statement. What is an if statement? An if statement executes only if a condition is true. The if statements are of four types. We have the simple if statement, if-else statement, nested if-else statement, and else-if statement. All these four are nothing but different forms of implementation of the if statement. Let us look at the simple if statement. In the simple if statement, if a condition is true, a block of statement is executed. If it is false, it goes back to the rest of the program. Here is the program. In this program, we initialized x and assigned it to value 20, and we initialized y and assigned it to value 22. If x less than y, here x less than y is the condition. Is 20 less than 22? Definitely yes. So the printf statement will be printed where we have variable x is less than y. So that is going to be the output. Followed by the simple if statement, we have the if-else statement. In the if-else statement, if a condition is true, the block statement 1 will be executed. Else, that is if the condition fails, we have the block statement 2 executed. And after following the if-else statements, we have the rest of the program, which is denoted as block statement 3. Let us have a look at this program. Here age is declared and we ask the user to enter age. We input the age and we check the condition if age greater than or equal to 18. If it is true, we print you are eligible for voting. Else, we print you are not eligible for voting. Coming to the output, we ask the user to enter age and we have 14 entered. So is 14 greater than or equal to 18? It is false. So the if statement won't be executed and it goes to the else statement. And here you are not eligible for voting will be the output. After the if-else statement, we have the nested if-else statement. So nested if-else statement is where an entire if-else construct is written within the if statement or in the else statement. So within this if statement, we have another if-else construct written, followed by the else statement of this if statement. Let us look at the flowchart. If a condition is true, it goes into the next if statement, and if this is true, it executes block 1 statement, and if this is false, it executes block 2 statement. Or if the original condition is false, it directly executes the block 3 statement and goes to the rest of the program. Let us look at the program of the nested if-else statement. Here, we declared var1 and var2 and we asked the user to enter the value of var1 and var2. Is variable 1 not equal to variable 2? We print variable 1 is not equal to variable 2 and go to the next condition, which is variable 1 greater than or greater than variable 2. If this condition is true, we execute var1 is greater than var2. Else, we execute var2 is greater than var1. But initially, if the condition var1 not equal to var2 is false, then we directly go to the else statement and execute var1 is equal to var2. Let us look at the output. We have var1 as 12 and var2 as 21. If var1 not equal to var2, definitely 12 is not equal to 21. So the first printf statement var1 is not equal to var2 will be printed. After that, we have the nested if else condition, which is var1 greater than var2. Is var1 greater than var2? 12 greater than 21? No, it is false. So we go to the else block and execute var2 is greater than var1. var2 is greater than var1. And the slash n here is nothing but the escape sequence for the next line. After the nested if else statement, we have else if statement. So the else if statement, what we actually do is, we first check the first condition. If the first condition is false, we go to the next condition. And if this condition is also false, we go to the next condition. Likewise, we check all the conditions present, and if all of them tend to be false, we directly execute the default statement. Let us look at the flow chart. Here, we have the condition 1. If the condition 1 is true, we have block statement 1 executed. But if this is false, we execute condition 2. And if this is true, we execute block 2. If it is false, we go to the next condition. And if all of them tend to be false, we directly execute the default statement and go back to the rest of the program. Let us look at the sample program. In this example, we ask the user to enter marks. And what are the conditions? If marks greater than 75, we print distinction. If it is greater than or equal to 60, we print first class, and if it is greater than or equal to 50, we print second class. If it is greater than or equal to 35, we print third class. Else, the default statement, we print fail. Now, if the user enters a value of 10, we first check if 10 is greater than or equal to 75. It is false. So, we skip the statement and go to the next one. Is 10 greater than or equal to 60? No, this is also false. We go to the next statement. Is 10 greater than or equal to 50? No, this is also false. So, we go to the next statement. Is 10 greater than or equal to 35? No, this is also false. So, we directly go to the default statement and print failed. After the else if statement, we have the second type of conditional statement, which is nothing but the switch statement. In the switch statement, it is similar to the else if statement, but the switch statement executes depending on the choice. So this choice can be an integer or a character value. This case keyword here represents a container which is collection of statements, and this break keyword here represents temporary termination. So whenever this is reached, the control will come out of the switch block and execute the next statements. And this default is a keyword which represents special container with a collection of statements. So what this default actually does is, when all of these cases fail, directly we have the default statement executed. Let us look at the flowchart. If the switch condition, we have case 1, case 2, case 3, and so on, case n and default. If case 1 is true, the statements will be executed, and after the break is encountered, it directly goes back to the statements after the switch case. In this example, we have num as 8, and switch num is nothing but choice is num. So choice is 8. We check for the choice. Is case 7 the choice? No. Case 8 is the choice? Yes. So we print the value is 8. After printing, we encounter the break statement. So on encountering break statement, we come out of the switch block. After coming out of the switch block, we directly have return 0. So after return 0, the program will be terminated and the output will be value is 8. With this topic, we come to the end of the control structures or the control statements. In the next lecture, we will discuss about branching. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comment section. Thank you guys.